I bet you this report that I'm about to give you now, a lot of you didn't hear about it on CNN and MSNBC and regular news, the liberal news. Most of you didn't hear about it because it wasn't presented. It was overlooked. And whenever the president does something good, does something good, the liberal media would not report it. But if it looked like he's done something wrong, they're all over it because they think he's out of there. They want him out. The liberal media, who are the enemy of the people, the Democratic Party, the right-wing Republicans, and the never-Trumpers hate this president because he's a good man. He put the country first. He stand by his word. And we, the people, are grateful for him. So let's not let him down at all. Let's stick with him. As long as he has us, he's going to be fine. There's nothing that the enemies of the president can do. And your enemy as well. They are lying to you. I want to encourage you to overcome anger. I want you to overcome anger so you can be free and you can understand God's ways. They are so amazing because so many men and women are getting in trouble because they're listening to the world rather than listening to God's way, what's right for them. So overcome the world. They're living together. They're making babies out of wedlock. They're getting in all kinds of relationships. They're having sex before marriage. Just a real mess. They are accepting things that are wrong, like abortion and so-called same-sex marriage, radical Black Lives Matter, radical homosexuals. They're voting for the wrong people because you're not listening to what is right in your heart. The word is written on your heart, is made flesh. So start listening to that and do good, be good, and have faith. Your whole world will change. Be good and have faith. Your whole world will change. That's why Christ came. President Trump tweeted, anytime you hear a Democrat saying that you can have good border security without a wall, write them off as just another politician following the party line. Time for us to save billions of dollars a year and have, at the same time, far greater safety and control. The president is right. He's absolutely right. But the president announced something called Revitalization Council. Opportunity and Revitalization Council. And I bet most of you have not heard about this. This is for black people. This is Breitbart. This is from Breitbart. BET founder Bob Johnson praised Donald Trump for founding the Opportunity and Revitalization Council. And this guy, Bob Johnson, owned BET at one time. And he gave the president high praises for doing this. And he's a black man. And you heard nothing about it. Most of you heard nothing about it from the media because the president's doing good. He's helping blacks. And this guy, Bob Johnson, was praising him. Had Bob Johnson been up there saying negative things about the president, it would be all over the liberal media, all over. Everybody would know about it. But because he's black and he says something good about the president, most of you don't know about it. On Friday, President Trump signed an executive order creating the Opportunity and Revitalization Council, headed by Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson. Dr. Carson is a good man. This is from the White House. Trump introduces the Opportunity and Revitalization Council.
In a few moments, I will sign an executive order launching a new White House opportunity. This is a very big thing that Tim and I and everybody have been working on for a long time. And Revitalization Council. This council will coordinate efforts across the entire federal government to deliver jobs, investment, and growth to the communities that need it the most. With the creation of today's council, the resources of the whole federal government will be leveraged to rebuild low-income and impoverished neighborhoods that have been ignored by Washington in years past.
This man is something else. Now, here is how I feel about this. It's not going to work. Sorry. It's not going to work. And the reason it's not going to work because businesses are not going into the urban areas because they don't want to, but because of crime, the lack of morality, the lack of respect, and high crime. When you open up a business in the black communities around the country, you're more likely to be robbed, killed. People break into your business. It's a mess. They walk in and steal stuff and walk out. I was right down the road the other day at some business down there, and a black woman, high, looked like she high, walked in and just picked up some candy from the little shelves, and the owner was like, no, you can't do that. She's like, shut up, and walked out with it without paying. And apparently she does that a lot. That's the problem. They have already tried Opportunity Revitalization Council in the black community, and it didn't work because black people in those areas are out of control. They have no respect. And the crime rate is bad. And in California, you can't go to jail unless it's over something like $1,000 shoplifter. You have to steal over $1,000. Shoplift at least $1,000 in California. So these businesses come back into the urban area. They already know that this is going to happen. I'm glad. And this should not be just for black people. It should be for American people. I'm tired of separating blacks, making them feel special. And that's why they're not getting better. I understand President Donald Trump trying to do the right thing, but I don't think most of the people standing there mean well. This is personal to them. They want power and wealth because they know unless they clean up the crime and then make black people pay back, because black people take loans and won't pay back. It's not going to get better until the character changes. Trump says Ben Carson will lead the council after this break. So I got to take a break. And some of you may think I'm wrong about this. I want to hear from you. I'm not wrong. But businesses are not going, even black businesses don't go in those areas unless it's a hair business or something, barbershop, because they know that blacks going to break in, all kinds of drug addicts and all kinds of stuff happen. It's a mess, as Joel would say. Back in a moment. So they're cutting taxes for businesses in these unsafe zones so that, hoping that businesses will go back into the black communities around the country. But that's not going to work because opportunity zones, and if you want to go back in there, they cut back on your taxes in hope that you will go back. But it's not going to work until they clean up the crime. It's just not going to work. Those people are so out of control in these urban areas, no respect. They take your money and won't pay you back, and they don't care. Until you return to character, it's never going to work. Money is not going to do it. And anyway, it should be opportunity for everybody, not just for blacks. Revitalization Council should be for all human beings. I don't want. I'm tired of separating blacks because they refuse to return to God. They refuse to do right. They like doing wrong and thinking that somehow or another doing wrong, they're going to get good results. It doesn't work like that, folks. Take it from me. You got to be right and be honest. Then that's what will come back to you. Trump says Ben Carson will lead the council.
Our goal is to ensure that America's great new prosperity is broadly shared by all of our citizens. Our country is doing better than ever economically, and we're able to do that. I'm thrilled to announce that our new council will be led by Secretary Ben Carson, who is here with us today. Let's see, Ben. Where is our Ben?
That's nice. I understand it, but it's not going to work until they clean up the mess, clean the hearts and minds of most black people. No opportunity is going to be in these areas until that happens, because most people are afraid to open up shop in those areas. I have a friend who recently opened up a shop in one of those areas. I don't want to say it because I don't have his permission, but he's already complaining. He moved out of white community back into those areas, And already the people are urinating on the gates around the building. They are sleeping around there. They're on drugs. And he's like totally unhappy already. Why don't we deal with reality? Why do people today pretend good is evil and evil is good? Why? What happened? It's never going to work that way. Here Trump introduces BET founder Bob Johnson.
Today, we are also proud to be joined by one of America's most admired business leaders, the co-founder of the television network BET, Bob Johnson. Bob, please. Hi, Bob. How are you? Nice to see you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm here to applaud you on two things. One, you may not even know about, but Tim Scott does.
Good.
What happened? Oh, I thought Bob Johnson was a taller man and younger. I had no idea. Did you, Joel?
I didn't know.
You know who Bob Johnson was? You know that a black man used to own BET? He doesn't own it anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was founded by a black guy, I think, that guy. But for some reason, I thought he was taller and younger. He's short as that lady. Nothing wrong with shortness, I'm just saying. He's shorter than her. Anyway, Bob Johnson said Trump Labor Department helped blacks and Hispanics with their 401ks.
Just recently, your Department of Labor signed a historic document that created something called auto portability. Auto portability is designed to reduce retirement leakage among low-income 401k account holders who tend to cash out. And Mr. President, you should know this, 60% of African American, Hispanic Americans cash out of their 401k account.
I want to be able to, too. Anybody who want to cash out their 401k should be able to do it without having to give up so much money in order to do it. It's not just a black thing. And I noticed that these liberal blacks have started to include the Hispanics. Hispanics don't like black people, but they're doing that for the vote. That's why they're doing it. Oh, it's so sad. Johnson said the 401k program will help put money back in minorities' pocket. All people want money back that works. Anyway, I'm just saying.
This program will put close to $800 billion back in the retirement pockets of minority Americans. So I just want to applaud you for that.
This president is the great white hope. Johnson said BET took $500,000 and built a $4 billion business. Huh?
1 second.
That's on F.
Yeah, I gotta drag it in.
You got to drag it in?
Yeah.
Amazing. I'll come right back to it. Here is Ben Johnson, the founder of BET. He says BET took $500,000 to build a $4 billion business.
Most of you probably know that I started BET on a $500,000 loan from a guy named John Malone. That $500,000 that John Malone put into BET allowed me, along with a lot of other minority employees and others, to build a $4 billion business. What this proves is the efficacy, Mr. President, of a program that allows capital to flow to places where people are seeking an opportunity.
Amazing. I recommend that you not see yourself as a minority. That's another setup from the world. Don't have an opinion of yourself. Just live. Become a living being. Because when you see yourself as a minority, you're going to see yourself as a victim. You're going to see yourself as needing, can't do it or something. It's in a fallen state. That's a setup by the world. The politicians and others did that to get money and power. That's why they're using the Hispanics now too, blacks and Mexicans. Johnson said businesses will see opportunities in areas that used to be risky.
And I am convinced that this program, where the tax incentives flowing out of the Treasury Department to business people, will cause people to invest money where before they saw risk, now they will see opportunity.
That's not going to happen unless they clean up the crime, the drugs, and the out of wedlock birth, and the lack of respect and the dishonesty. Johnson said the businesses will help make communities safer. That's not going to happen. Here's Johnson.
And that combination of putting money into communities will allow for those communities to become vibrant, to become safe, to create ownership, and most important, to contribute to the well-being of this country.
Not going to happen. The only way that your community will become safer, you got to change the hearts of the people. If the heart is still wicked and you bring businesses back, the businesses are not going to stay because the people are going to break in, they're going to rob, they're going to have riots. While you're trying to be safe away from the riot, they're going to rob you and think it's funny. You got to change the hearts. And black people, not all but most, not all, their hearts need to be changed. Johnson believes there are businesses solutions to social problems. No.
I'm a
To social
fundamental
problems.
believer that there are business solutions to social problems.
Nope.
The Opportunity Zone program is that, and I applaud you and Tim Scott for taking the leadership on it. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
That's nice, but more taxpayers' dollars wasted. They've done that before. If you don't change I grew up in Alabama on a plantation under the Jim Crow laws. I lived in a wooden little house with two rooms and a kitchen. And the bathroom was outside. It had a tin roof on the house. But because we had character, we respected one another, we respected others, we didn't have all this going on, the crime and businesses afraid to come in and all that. But until you change that in black people, the revitalization thing is not going to work. We've already tried that, and it's not fair to other taxpayers to just focus on blacks like that. All people should get cuts if they're working. Businesses should be able to be started wherever they want to, if they got the money or the energy.